Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm back for part 2 of my little accordion journal that I'm making using the Junk Journal Studios new All Things Neutral. It's called All Things Neutral Junk Journal Essentials Volume 3 kit. There's a Volume 1 and a Volume 2 of the Junk Journal Essentials kit, and this is Volume 3, All Things Neutral, so everything has a neutral palette. This is what I have so far. I did this page, so I thought we would do another page, a couple pages, hopefully. So these, the Junk Journal Essential kits, are really great for, you know, if you don't have access to all the vintage pieces like music paper or book pages or you know, checks and all kinds of different elements for your journal. This actually is a great kit for things like that. So yeah, just a great kit for different if you don't have access to all of those different elements and things. So I'm taking different pieces of the paper and just tearing it. This I like embossed. You can see better on this one with this, like, I think it's called dotted Swiss, yeah, dotted Swiss, I think. Anyway, so I thought I would layer up some of this. I've got my tear ruler here. Make sure I have it on the right side. And I've got a bunch of neutral laces and ribbons and things to add. And I'm using this, well, if you can see it, Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. Kind of distress everything up and give it kind of a vintagey look. So I took the different pages. There's a part 1, which I will link in the description box. It shows how I built the base of this journal. I used an embossing folder on this too that's really pretty, but I think I put it on the wrong side because you can see on this back side, see how you see the image there? So this is like, I don't know, what do you call that? Like the negative? I guess some of it would show. Bring in my piece of paper to ink a little bit on the back. So like if you want to curl up the sides of your paper, ink a little bit of it, ink on the back of it a little bit. This is going to go into some of that, excuse me, some of the space where I embossed. This whole thing's not torn. Okay. It tears kind of strange or weird when you use an embossing folder. Get rid of that. So I'm trying to work on, you know, I'm still new to YouTube. I think I started my channel, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I think. Might have been 5 months ago. I have to look. So I'm finding, and it, you know, somebody told me that I do talk really soft anyways, but I think when I craft sometimes I get a little bit lost, and so you'll notice in my videos that my voice just kind of, the volume keeps going down and down and down. Let's ink a little bit of the back of this. So I'm trying to be aware of the volume of my voice, and I'm trying to keep it up so that you can hear me. Because that would be good. Yeah, I think too, like if I get lost in the paper, or you know, sometimes I think it has to do with my energy level too. I'm tired. I tend to talk a little bit softer. Okay, we've got music paper in there already. Let's see. Let's bring in some of our papers here. Oh, how about this ledger? That's cool. So my next journal is totally opposite of this color palette. You know, this is a neutral palette, and my next journal that I'm working on, I kind of already, you know, printing it out and stuff. It's from Polka Dot Pixels, and it's a spring palette. And many of you will recognize the papers because the designer used to design for Simple Stories, and so it's one of the collections that she created for them. And I think like when they design for, you know, some of these scrapbook companies, when it ends up in digital form, sometimes you won't see exactly every single element. You'll see a few differences. You'll see some things that are like in the digital that are not in the scrapbook paper, and then vice versa. You'll see things in the digital paper that, or the scrapbook paper that is not not in the digital. So it's pretty cool when you have, and I actually have this collection. I looked through all my scrapbook papers, and I have some of the paper and ephemera and things, chipboard pieces and things in my stash. So I'm going to be adding those. And I'm going to use a different type of binding technique. I believe it's called a slip knot. Really cool. I practiced. I made like this small little Valentine's journal using digitals from Crafty Friends, and I practiced making like a small journal with this method, this slip knot method, which your pages are supposed to lay more flat. So I'm curious because I think that's too much the same. I need something that's different. I think like this. Anyway, so the journal that I made practicing that slip knot method, it wasn't that many pages, and there wasn't, you know, I hadn't bulked it up with a bunch of ephemera and stuff. So this next journal, this spring journal, is going to be bulked up more. So I'm really curious to see if it will still lay flat. I'm going to ink this where my page folds right here so I can see it, so I don't go over that line. Let's see. Let's do this one here. I'm going to ink on the back of this one. It's okay. Let's see, I think I did ink on the back of this one. Just kind of roll up the corners to give it like a little more aged look. Yeah, so I'm going to start on that journal too this week and make some videos and see. I'm really curious if, first of all, how to, you know, bind like a bigger journal with this slip knot method. It looks pretty neat. I think it looks pretty neat. And I don't know if anybody's like, I don't think you cover the spine once you have that slip knot method. Leave me a comment if you've tried that, binding a journal with that slip knot method. Let me know if you have tried it, and have you like covered the spine, you know, where you've got that little slip knot spine, or do you leave it kind of open? It kind of reminds me of like a little crocheted look, I guess, is what it reminds me of. And it's really easy. It's really not difficult at all. And you know, I'll show you guys how to do it if you've never done it before. So fun, something different. Good to learn different things. Yeah, so these papers, aren't these pretty? This has like this is like this, I think the old photos used to have like this like photography, like the advertisement from the photographer. And so that's what I believe this piece of ephemera is. Okay, and then I've been using, if you saw me do this page, these little, from the little kids are called Cheeky Kids from Sweet Pea Curiosities. I just thought it was just something fun and something to make us smile that has these little pouty kids on it. So I just laugh when I see them. I just think they're just so funny looking. Aren't these cute? This image reminds me of, this little girl reminds me of a childhood friend I had named Betsy. I don't know why, she just reminds me, it looks like Betsy to me. Let me just stress the edges of this a little bit. I saw somebody distressing the edge of their paper, and like I was opening my scissors like this and doing it like this, but I saw somebody like they just had like their scissors closed like this, and it does the same thing. I also have that tool from the Tim Holtz tool, this little thing that there's like little blades in there, but you know, the back of your scissors work just as well too. Okay, let's ink the back of this. So which part of the world are you in? Are you in the United States? Tell me in the comments where you're from. Is it starting to become spring where you're at, or is it really cold and there's lots of snow? It actually snowed. I've got mountains behind me. I'm in Las Vegas is where I'm at, and you know, people usually know it for being really hot, which it is really hot in the summer, but because we're actually at elevation, and so we do get snow. I think the first year I was here it snowed, but last week it rained a lot and the mountains behind me got snow. In fact, it was really beautiful. It just, the whole valley, well, it's not a valley here, but basically Vegas is surrounded by mountains, and all the mountains were just, they were covered in snow. It was just beautiful. The mountain behind me, the snow has like, it's since melted. But it just looks so pretty. Super cold, but I think it's supposed to get into the 70s this week, I think. I'm gonna put this naughty little girl here, and let's maybe bring in some lace. Let's see. I just want to make sure I use different lace than let's cut this. Pretty lace. I'll have to look where I got this. It was like a little package of all like neutral laces I got on someplace on Etsy a while ago. Yeah, I was going to do my spring journal, but then the Junk Journal Studio came out with this beautiful kit, and I didn't want to wait to use it. I really wanted to play with it, so. I usually like, I like pinks and, floral and flowers and stuff. And, but, I've challenged myself, so I got glue there, so I have to put a piece of ephemera there to get rid of that. But, challenging myself to use colors that I don't normally use, or to use like the neutrals, is a good challenge, and it's fun. And I'll have to put a piece of ephemera there because I got some glue. Let's see. I also have this, but I think I'd have to ink that up. Legend. Cute. Let's see. Got all these little pieces. Oh, here's like a date, 1492 to 1506. That was a while ago. Yeah, so it's fun to challenge yourself to, use a color palette you don't usually use. And what I've found when I do that is that I end up really loving, like, I have like a more of an appreciation for, the other colors and things that I use. And I love this kit. It is just, to me, it's so elegant and so pretty. Let's see, can we curl up this corner here? So what are your favorite colors to work with? I know a lot of people that really like the grungy look, or like, oh, pinks. Oh, I hate working with pink. But, I'll see people that like the grungy look, challenge themselves to, to work with, like pinks and other colors that are not the norm of what they're used to creating with. Dear naughty little girl. So we've got a pouty pout girl and a naughty little girl. Over here, I was thinking of putting an envelope, although this is music paper. Let's see. Maybe we should do the music paper on this, do the envelope on this side. Okay, let's put something here. Let's bring in some things with text, since we've got music paper. Maybe our bingo card. The bingo card would be cute. Move this a little bit so I can kind of distress the edges. Yeah, I made a couple envelopes. Like here's one that I made, and then I made this one, but this one's like it's too big. Well, I guess it sort of fits, but anyways, I'll have to cut those down. Or, I made one that was a little bit smaller. Yeah, so I really appreciate these kits, like this Junk Journal Essentials kit, which I will link in the description box, like I said. Because I don't have really access, I think, or I haven't found any places that have like old music, vintagey music paper, things like that. When I was visiting my parents a few months ago, we did go to a used bookstore, and I got a couple books and a music book too, but I left it there. So having kits like this with, things that are scanned in that are actually vintage is like, I think it's great. Let's see, what else? Maybe this little piece of ledger paper that was left over. So yesterday I posted on my Instagram page a couple projects I made. I love to die cut. That's my other love of paper crafting is die cuts and the 3D projects. And KS Crafts had it's called a carry basket, and it's such a fabulous size. I think it came out, I believe, with their February release, and where she had like a bunch of Easter stuff, Easter die cuts. But so I made one that was like an Easter theme, but then I made one that matches the paper collection, the digital paper collection of the journal that I'm gonna make. Because I thought, let me put this together to put my ephemera and different things I'm cutting out in. And it actually, it's beautiful. I think it's really pretty. So I'm probably going to make another one. Somebody asked me to do a tutorial. It's pretty easy to put together, but it's such a good size, and it's perfect for things like that when you're like, you've got a big, especially digital kits that have like a lot of ephemera pieces. And, as you're cutting them out, I like to, sit on the sofa and have a movie or something on while I'm cutting out ephemera. And so having that little basket, I was just, as I was cutting things out, I was just putting it in the little basket. So then, from there I can, put it into something else if I want, or like an embellishment book like I made for that All Things Roses challenge, following pouring my art out for the Lord. Debbie made a video of an ephemera book, so I made one which actually is like a great way to organize your ephemera. I'll show you. Like that, it's a kind of a mess now because I've been pulling stuff out of it, but you make these little pockets. This is like from envelopes. It's 2 envelopes, and then these two are card bases, like a card in the envelope base. And then you put these different pockets in, and it is a really nice way to organize your ephemera instead of doing like what I have right now, where it's like all out in front of me, and I'll put it like in piles, but then as I'm digging through it, it's like it ends up everywhere. It ends up to be a big mess. Let's see, this. I didn't ink the back of that one, that's okay. I only want to ink the back of the ones that I'm like going to curl up on the edges, but I have to do that one. Did I do it? No, let's do this one. Yeah, so those embellishment books I think are great. And then like if you like that embellishment book I just showed you is from that All Things Roses challenge. And that challenge, it was the kits that we used from the Junk Journal Studio were the All Things Roses, the papers, and then the ephemera kit, and the fussy cut kit, and then I had ephemera from the Junk Journal Essentials Volume 1 and Volume 2. And so I didn't use everything because, I mean, the amount of ephemera she has in her kits is just like so generous. It's just fabulous. Oh. Oh, okay. I was like reading what this said down here. It says half-second lice killer and medicated nest eggs kill chicken lice instantly. It's supposed to be like an invoice from some sort of store. I'm going to cover that though. Yeah, so anyways, the ephemera book. Yeah, so then the ephemera that I don't use, instead of like, I usually put it in some little container with a lid on it. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, excuse me. But then I don't always label it, and it's like, where is that stuff? So if I have it in a little ephemera book, put those on a bookshelf and maybe put the name of the paper collection, digital collection that I used, and I can load this one up and just ink the let's see. I think I'm going to add this one in there too. This is actually one of the tags that's in there. I'm just going to cut or tear the top here. Yeah, so a nice way to organize your ephemera. But while you're cutting your ephemera out, having something like one of those baskets I think is cool because there's like a slot on each side. You can go over them. I don't have it in front of me, otherwise I would show you guys, but I posted a reel on Instagram yesterday, so it is on there. You want to see it? Yeah, so the one that I put together that matches the digital collection I used, I actually used the scrapbook paper that I had from Simple Stories. But I think the second one I'm going to make for the tutorial, I'm going to use the digital paper. Offset this a little bit. Oh, let's ink back. I just put a new little dauber thing on here to, oh, I think those little pieces are probably from the sides where I distressed it. I was thinking it was coming from this dauber, but that's the paper. I might get a darker color. Let's see. Oh, that's vintage photo. I thought I had gathering twigs out here, but I guess I don't know where it is, but I don't want it to roll that way. The other thing that's neat is just to like kind of wrinkle your paper up and then ink along the wrinkles. Just gives it that aged, vintagey look. I usually only layer 3 pieces of paper, but I don't know, that just needed something. Just offset it a little bit. Okay, let's bring in another one of our cheeky girls. This one reminds me of my friend Jackie. So funny. Naughty. This one, she's mad. Where do they get these photos from? I wonder how they make these digitals like this. Mad Minnie. Not today. I think that's not today. I made, October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I have a digital that I use to make a journal for my mom, because she just went through treatment for that, which thankfully she's okay. She just finished her last radiation treatment, so it was caught super early, and it was just like a lumpectomy, I think is what they call it. It was super early. Like, they rate, I think, from 1 to 4 or something is how they rate these cancers like that, and hers was like rated at a 0. So like, very, very fortunate it was caught so early. But anyways, in the journal that I made to just encourage her as she was going through her little surgery and treatments and things, I put one of these girls that was holding a sign that said, "Not today, not today, cancer." Not today. They come in, the digital comes in, they come in these small little sizes, but then they also come in a little bit bigger. So there was like a bigger one that I used. I thought was cute. Let's see. I think I want to use the lace. Let's see which lace. I've got this like eyelet fabric, I think would be pretty. Let's put a bigger piece. little more glue down here. Like she needs some lace or something underneath her. I love this one. The little dots on it, isn't that pretty? Okay, let's glue her first. Not today. Yeah, I'm curious how they make these digitals with these. Like, do they find an old photo and then this is just, they use one of their, what's that program they use, a lot of people use for digitals? You know, Inkscape's one of them. Photoshop. Is it Photoshop? I don't know. I wonder if that's how they add like the little signs and the words and stuff. Definitely a skill that I don't have. I see people that like end up doing digitals and I'm like, how do you, you know, you go from this like blank page and I just like what they come up with is just amazing. The vision that those artists have, I think, is so cool. Let's tuck a piece of lace under here. Let's see which side is the right side. I think it's this side. Let's see, where do I want to put it? Do I want to put it up here or down here? I think up here. Probably right there, maybe. Pokey tool. And just kind of tuck it in there. Gather that a little bit. So cute. I think it's so funny. You've got all this beautiful paper and lace and things. And then you've got these little cheeky kids. Put that down a little bit. See, does it need anything else? Is there a piece of ephemera you could put? I think it's something right there. It's too big. Here's a smaller one. Yep. There's all these different stamps in here. There's one that says cafe on it. That's cute. We'll go to the Pouty Cafe. Set that aside for a second. I didn't do my cover yet. I mean, I just covered it a little bit, but I have to do it at the end because I never know what I want to do. Yeah, sometimes I like make these journal pages and there ends up being this cohesive theme that I don't like, I'm not even consciously aware of. Like, I'm not consciously going, I want this to be this or to go in this direction. And it just, I think I don't know, does your subconscious mind like come forward when you're creating or something? I always wonder because I'm like, oh, how did that, there's kind of a theme going there or that I didn't like plan. Little ephemera pieces. I really like this, like, I don't know, this kind of torn, grungy style, though. I think it's so fun to just not have the pressure of everything has to be, you know, is my page straight? Is my everything perfect? This is, I don't know what's happening here with this. Not curling up now. I just need some glue on the paper, I think. So hard to squeeze. I think I need to put my Fabri-Tac in like one of those small little bottles. It's hard to squeeze the stuff out of there. Okay, where's my cafe sign? Maybe we should bring in some of this Tim Holtz tape. So which side is it? This side. There we go. Getting some stamps. These are from that Creative Worship stamps. I love the rulers on here. Let's do this one that says receipts. Make sure I have it on. There we go. Make sure I have it on straight. Receipts. Let's see what else. Be part of this one of those rulers. Or measuring tape. That's what it is, not a ruler. Let's see. I need a bigger block for that, huh? Can't really see it. Oh, you can see it down there. Let's see. I need to ink it like this, I think. Okay, so we can see a little bit on the fabric, huh? Well, you can see the 5/8 on the fabric. I think I need a bigger block for this stamp. Let's see, there's months on here. Photography, printing. I like the script down here too. Okay, that's a smaller one. We should be able to do this one better. Of course, I've got ink all over my hands. Can't really see that there, but you can see a little bit of it. Well, you can see it on the back of this now, huh? That's kind of neat. Try to use my stamps more. I don't always bring them out. I'm trying to learn how to use them more. I signed up for that Simon Says monthly stamp kit. I thought that was a good way to learn because they have different people that make different projects with the stamps, so cute. See, it's getting chunky. Okay, let's put our envelope on this page. Let me glue this. And I'm going to tear this flap off. Let's ink that. I think I could put this down in here like that. Let's do that. I love the music paper in this kit. So pretty. Tear that off. Okay, I think we can glue this like right like that. And then let's put a piece of lace across this like this. that. And then we can make it like a little pocket. Let's do that. Just gonna glue it on 3 sides because then I can put a tag or something behind it. So it ends up becoming 2 pockets, right? Let's see, should we put another piece of lace down here, underneath here, now that I have it glued? Oh, I know. No, actually, that would... And then we can have some lace hanging over. I think that would be pretty. Let me straighten this side up. Okay. There to up there. Sorry, I can recognize now my voice is like starting to like drift off. I just, you know, I get into that crafty zone. Let's make sure I got it on the right side. Let's see. Yep, I think that's the right side. Pokey tool. And I need a little more glue. Oh, I think I saw somebody using the new We Are Memory Keepers. Their little glue. I don't know what it's called. It's their little glue squeezer thing, and I think they had Fabri-Tac in there. I just made a mess with that glue, but let's see. Pocket. Let's put this check in there. City of something. New York, 1910, July 1st, 1910. This definitely looks like it needs to be just distressed and not have a straight edge, since it's an old check. Or it's, oh, it's a dog license. Not a check, it's a dog license. Funny. How do they find this stuff? Probably public record, right? City record. Dog's name. I can't tell what the name is. It looks like it says Napa or Auburn Red. Funny. check in there. Or it's not a check, it's a dog license receipt, I guess. And then let's make a little tag for here. There's all these maps too in this kit. That's pretty scripty writing. Okay. And what else I have is these Tim Holtz little paper strips that are like that neutral palette. See if I can tear this. There's these vintagey photos too in this kit. I think it's too big for this tag. It is. Let's stick with our cheeky girl theme. Let's do that. And then there's these little bingo cards. Probably need a portion of this. So we tuck this under here. Let me set this aside for a minute. Let me ink around this tag. I don't know if I didn't put anything on the back. Let's bring in some paper to put. Let's bring in this one. I love these tickets. Ugh, love them. Sometimes I print, double-sided, so there's something on the back, but then sometimes I don't, so that I can just, add the paper that I want. Because sometimes like when I'm printing, I don't always know what I want to put on the back. This way. And it just makes your tag a little more sturdy. Isn't that cool? I love those tickets. I love any kind of paper that has a collage of tickets. Okay. So then this, I've got this, let's see, do it like that. I think it's fun to make collage tickets too, or to collage your tags, that's what I was trying to say. Let's see. Issued free. Oh, one of the stamps. Let's cut this. And then I feel like it needs something under here. Why I keep moving my ink around. Let's do that. Let's clip this one down. Stamp. Let's cut these excess off here. Cool. Let's see, that's too little to use. I could probably use this piece again though, to tuck it underneath something. And then do we want to put a cheeky kid on here, on our tag? Nope. Sulk. Oh, this one says tantrum. I love this one. Pouty. Cute. Let's put this little girl having her temper tantrum. I always think I'm going to get more done than I actually do. I think it just takes me way longer to create. What about you? Or do you create journals really fast, or are you like me? Hours and hours later. To find my gathered twigs because I think it's a little bit darker. This in and wrinkle it up, and like a little piece of lace we need to add to this maybe. Yeah. Let's see, which is the front? I think that's the front, I think. Really hard to tell. Sometimes I think that's the front. I think it's like that. glue her. We haven't even gotten to the back side of our journal. So this is probably going to be 4 parts, I'm guessing. So if you purchase this kit, this neutral, all things neutral kit, tell me what you're going to make with it, or tag me on Instagram at Daily Dose of Happiness. I would love to see what you come up with. It's fun to see what other people make. Okay, let's put a little something, not that one. Like it needs to be wider piece of lace. I'm looking for a specific piece that I don't suddenly see in here. Oh, is this it? Let's do this one. Let's do that one. I think that's, which is the front and which is the back? I think this is the front. Maybe a button right here. Let's see what buttons I have. That one, or maybe this one. Maybe this one. I think I can. I think this will thread through here without a needle, I think. Oops. There we go. Tie a little knot back here. This just helps it to have something to adhere to when you just tie a little piece of thread or twine or something on your button. Oops. Oh, don't put your finger right in it. Okay, let me bring my journal back in. Put a little tag in here. Cute. And we'll put a little dog license receipt. And maybe, what else do we have in here? We've got a postcard. Oh, that's right, because we made a pocket behind here too. Let's ink this. Postcard back here. But you know what? I gotta cover the back first. Okay, let me do that, then I think I'll be done for today. Let's cover it with this one that I did that little dotted Swiss on. Some texture. It says here, rotary, oh, does that say photographic series? Okay. Yeah, I like to have it covered on the back because, especially when you have like an accordion journal like this, because when you flip it the other way, you're going to see the back of this card and you don't want to see that white. Ink that. Isn't that neat? I love this too, all the little lines with numbers on it. Okay. So we'll put this back here. And then our little tag in our pocket. Cute. It's still drying. And then we can put our little dog license receipt from 1910. And then do we need something here? Oops. Let's see. No. Oh, that's cute. Let's do that. Stress the edge. Be consistent. So I appreciate you crafting along and watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And if you're going to use this kit. And what you're going to make. Would love to see. I have another idea that I want to use for this kit too. Of course, like I feel like I'm running out of time because this is my mom's birthday soon, so we're having a party for her, and so I need to fly back out. And I'm trying to get projects recorded before I leave, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. How much? I keep coming up with ideas, you know, I run out of time. Okay, let's put that there. I don't know what I did with the cover of my ink. All right, so let's see what we have so far. It's chunking up. We're going to have to put some sort of closure. So I don't have anything on the front yet. Well, I mean, I have some on the front, but I don't have what I'm going to decorate it with. I'm going to add to it. So you got this little pouty little girl. Might add something else over here. And then we've got this little naughty girl. This one who's like, not today. I haven't gone to the cafe yet for my coffee. So not today. Let's glue that a little bit more down. Cute. And then our little tag, dog receipt, a postcard. This beautiful, look at that doily on the back, isn't that pretty? So pretty. And we still have all these other pages. I did add this on the back. This is, I printed on vellum. One of the pages I printed on vellum, and I made a little envelope that was too wide. So I thought, well, I'll just glue it, you know, the other way. And I put a little postcard in here. I think, oh, I just inked the back of that one. Added a postcard with that. And then I made a tag with some of the Tim Holtz stuff. Covered the back, put a little button, a little piece of ephemera. So that's what we have so far in our little journal. Isn't that cute? So thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye.